his brother and his parents who saved the world, and being an orphan, he's far more connected to these things.
It was kind of one of those moments of like, a little bit fangirly, a little bit like, oh my God, it's Galadriel.
I really felt like I was stepping into one of my books.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hey,
How are you?
Good. Robert, I want to start with you. You're stepping into a role with Elrond that we have seen on screen as opposed to a lot of the other ones here. How did you approach making that your own and separating it, but also being somewhat connected to the Hugo Weaving performance that people might know?
Well, what was great about it is that he's in such a different place, just if you just think about the literature, the second age of Tolkien's Legendarium is one that is quite sparse, and so we know some of the events that happen there. We know big plot points on the graph, but there are huge things that we don't know. And so he's young at the beginning of our story, and so investigating how he's very much connected. He's more connected to the choice that he made to become immortal, to be counted amongst the immortals, and his brother and his parents who saved the world, and being an orphan, he's far more connected to these things than Lord Elrond of Rivendell, because he hasn't been through all of the things that led him there yet. He's way, way, way away from the Council of Elrond or anything like that. So it was really exciting endeavour to try and create someone who is surrounded by all of those events, and really exciting. I feel just so lucky to be playing him.
Well, and Sara, you get to step into a very fantastical world too. You get to be in this Hearthwood camp that is so earthy and it seems quite practical and cozy. What was it like to just be in that world for you?
All those things, earthy, cozy, practical. It was, and very, very magical. It was so wonderful to be surrounded by the New Zealand landscape every day. We shot 90% on location, so we were always out amongst it. And also, we just had such an amazing set design, an amazing team that created our encampment and our world. So I really felt like I was stepping into one of my books, and that I was becoming one of these mythical creatures. We felt so connected to the ground and the land around us, and we had a lot of fun too. Sung songs and danced and did lots of silliness. So yeah, it was really great.
Well, and speaking of design, Cynthia, I think you might have the best armor of anybody in the show, at least that I've seen. What was it like to put that on and just to step into the costume and really feel yourself in that world?
It's interesting because my armor costume was the first costume actually that I was sort of fitted for, and it was quite a process. And our amazing costume designer, Kate Hawley, I remember when I first saw the sketches, and then it sort of became about sort of being, seeing it come together piece by piece. And the end result, I just remember putting this crazy helmet on with the sun rays, and it was just like, I can't believe I get to wear this. But I also remember one of the first times I saw Morvid in her armor, and it was interesting because it's such a contrast. She has this sort of silver, and there was this level of detail, elven detail, and it was kind of one of those moments of like, a little bit fangirly, a little bit like, oh my God, it's Galadriel, So, it's great. You really use those costumes to become these characters. There are many elements to how you sort of transform yourself, but, sort of putting on those exterior elements and feeling your posture change, especially to play a queen. Obviously a queen, there's something very upright and regal, and that sense of really having to present a version of yourself. So I very much use the costumes to kind of, guide me in portraying Miriel, and just feel very lucky to be wearing all those couture armor pieces.
Well, I appreciate you guys have much better accents with the show and the Elvish than I do. Robert, I want to ask you, I heard that you're pretty big into Lord of the Rings. How deep do you go with it?
As deep as I can, really. I'm really passionate about the first age material. Those are the stories that I really, really, really love. And probably because, they shine a light on my character in a really interesting way. It's kind of the mutt of the elven world, everything kind of pours into him, and so I'm really, really passionate about that work. I find it really inspiring. What I like so much about his work is that he invites you in a way which I think is really unique. He invites your imagination to be turned on, you know, and make up your own stories and stuff. And that's what essentially we're doing. We're taking a really sparse age of you know, in the second age, and making some choices, and hope people enjoy the choices. I do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's the fun of it, right? Like there's much empty space on the page here. You know, you have a little few points, but there's so much more story that you can add. Guys, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see the rest of it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our Narcity channel to see more content just like this.